My next guest is raising alarms about how our relationship with China is affecting farmers. National Black Farmers Association President John Boyd Jr. is upset with the Biden administration for reportedly sending money overseas to places like China and Russia instead of taking care of American farmers here at home. And he joins me now. And all of this coming from this report by Senator Joni Ernst, who basically exposed the fact that we were sending $1.3 billion to China and Russian entities. $1.6 million went to Chinese food producers. Another $2 million went to the Wuhan lab. I could go on and on. But in particular, how upsetting is this to you?
Well, I think it's a real slap in the face to American farmers. Last year alone, we lost over 10,000 farms, U.S. farms here in the United States. And it looks as though the administration has money for Chinese farmers. They have money for Russia. They have money for Ukraine farmers, but they don't have any resources for America's farmers right here at home. You have to take care of American farmers. This is the oldest occupation known to man here in the United States, which is farming. And this administration, right now, at this point in history, giving money to Chinese farmers in Russia. What does that say to struggling farmers facing foreclosure right now? We have members in our organization that are facing foreclosure that we don't have the answers for. We don't have the resources to save these farms. And then we're looking at these types of resources going out to Chinese farmers and Russia. And you know what? China can come here and bid on our farms at auction and buy our farms, but we can't go to China and buy their farms. Something is terribly wrong with this picture. They can come to the United States and buy companies like Syngenta and buy companies like Smithfield, but we can't go to their country and buy their companies. We have to take a stand, and the administration is taking the wrong approach with this whole thing.
Well, and to your point, I mean, the Chinese can come and buy land in Florida, for example, or in other parts of the East, sometimes next to sensitive sites. At least the governor, DeSantis, is now pushing back on that. But let me ask you about those 10,000 farms going out of business. What is the main thing that's happening to these American farmers? Why such a stunning number of farmers are losing their livelihoods and losing their land?
Well, I reached out to the administration and Democratic leadership, Chuck Schumer and others, to issue a complete farm moratorium that would stop direct loans at USDA from being foreclosed on, guaranteed loans, and other agricultural lenders to stop selling our farms at this point where we're facing the highest input costs. I'm buying soybean seeds for $70 a bag, but I haven't had a raise and a commodity price on the markets in probably 20 years. These are real issues that are facing America's farms. So while we're watching our farmers lose their livelihoods, and when you lose your farm, you lose your history, you lose your name, you lose the cemeteries that your loved ones are buried here on these farms. And to watch these kind of monies go out to other foreign entities instead of that resources coming to America's farmers, we never got the $4 billion we were promised by this administration. It was repealed in Congress. And here we are, watching these monies, I'm going to keep saying it, going to China and Russia instead of going to America's farmers and taxpayers right here at home.
Yeah, this is after 2022 when you and your fellow farmers had to deal with the fertilizer issues that were coming out of the war with Ukraine and Russia. That's another side that's been very difficult for all of you. And of course, you can't find people to work, the labor issues as well. John, it's always great to see you. Please keep us posted.
Thank you for having me.